Hello and welcome to the Space Shananigans devlog number 4. Last time I talked about this modpack, all the progression on Earth was practically already done. The way the progression in this modpack works is you're landing on a planet, you're taking the resources from this planet, you're automating all the different materials that it provides, and when you have automated all the materials, you go into space to activate the warp gate for the next planet or planets. When you start on Earth, you automate aluminum, copper, tin, coal, and iron, and when you land on the moon, you automate Scarlet node, this blue thing from Alex's caves, titanium, ice, and gold. Although I'm debating if I should move gold to Earth and make people use different means of interplanetary transportation to move items between the planets. The lunar progression revolves around pneumatic craft, which seems counterintuitive, but pneumatic craft fits right in between Earth's thermal expansion and mechanism that is going to be on Venus and Mars. So I decided that pneumatic craft fits very good because, for example, its armor is way less powerful than mechanisms, but way more powerful than whatever you will be using on Earth, which is probably some cyber implants and just regular armor. What you're seeing here is pretty ugly. This is going to be my base when I'm going to build my survival base in this modpack when it comes out. So let's quickly go over all the custom multiblocks I have made for the moon stage. This is Miner Mark II. It is faster than the first miner and it is used to automate a resource from a resource node. Currently it is drilling some ice shards from this ice node. This is a small miner. Small miner solves a problem that I've always found very weird in a tech mod and that nobody have ever solved it before, and it is that when I'm on Earth and there is dirt everywhere, or if I'm on the moon and there is moon sand everywhere, why do I have no ability to automate it? Usually to automate like sand you need to macerate cobblestone a bunch of times and then you make sand. Why can't I just put like a drill or a miner on a freaking sand and automate sand just like that if it's in a desert or something? Well, this miner solves exactly that problem. When it is provided with pressure, it starts drilling, and it will start drilling sand because it is in a moon desert and it is on sand and it is above a certain height. It is also able to drill any other sort of ground or rock on any other planet if it is placed on this planet in a certain biome. For example, if it is placed in a desert, it will automate sand. If it's placed in plains, it will automate dirt. If it's placed underground, it will automate cobblestone, and so on. This is Quartz Harvester. It's a machine that, when built around the flawless quartz node, it will start harvesting quartz from applied energistics 2 automatically. This is Melter. It slowly melts ice into water, or it does it faster if provided with heat or energy. For example, right now it gets 500 degrees Celsius from this vortex tube. This is Electrolyzer. It does electrolyzing stuff, and it uses energy for it instead of pressure. This is liquid gas pump. It is used to convert liquid gas like oxygen and hydrogen in pneumatic craft pressure. The animation is obviously inspired by Satisfactory pump. And for the model I have to thank Jamiscus because I have finally got some help with the modeling stuff and also doing some custom mods for the modpack. This is thermal evaporation plant. It is a replacement of mechanism thermal evaporation plant, and instead of mechanisms it uses pneumatic craft heat instead of mechanism heat, and it also uses pressure only when it is in a low atmospheric pressure environment, for example the moon. It converts water into brine and brine into lithium, similar to mechanism thermal evaporation plant. This is pressure mixer. It mixes fluids or fluid and item together. On this stage it is used to make clay for ceramic sheets for PCBs and hydrogen chloride for a custom etching acid recipe. This is heat furnace. It uses heat to do smelting recipes. For example, right now it converts clay into terracotta, and also if the temperature is high enough it will do 16 recipes at once. This is Assembler Mark II. It is used to make more recipes for this stage of the progress, and it requires low gravity to operate. And this is UV etching machine. It's a combination of two machines from Pneumatic Craft that I removed from the modpack because I didn't have any ability to change the recipes. So now we have this. This is from regular pneumaticraft, I'm not going to go over this. And this is particle accelerator. It uses energy to create singularities, quantum particles, and chicken nuggets. And this is a warp gate. In the episode 3, we've only talked about the concept of it. I didn't even yet finished it, and now it is finished, and here it is in all its glory. Sadly, I had to give up on using immersive portals for warp gates. I'm not giving up on them completely, because I still want to make non-Euclidean dungeons. But for warp gates I had to use end gates instead of immersive portals. Because there was a bug with the ship and immersive portals where it would go through the immersive portals and it would stuck into like a weird superposition between the entrance and the exit. And when it is charged, it is being activated. And when it's activated, you can go through it to the lunar side of the warp gate. And as I said, the progression revolves around activating those warp gates. The first warp gate is being activated using energy. Second warp gate will need a lot more resources. For example, the reason why are you automating resources is to get to the new planet. And for example, you will need a bunch of stacks of multi-thread processors, a bunch of stacks of finished PCBs, and this amount would be very hard to get if you didn't automate it. But if you do automate it, well, you will activate the next warp gate very easily. Now let's go over the lunar changes. You can see a bunch of things going on here. Firstly, the meteorite from Applied Energistics. Applied Energistics is going to be gated behind the moon, although you will be able to make a sublet system on Earth with only 8 channels and no auto-crafting. Because I think you still have to have a digital storage. As Wise Man once said, storage is a right. This is a biome from Badger End that I have transferred to the moon. This is mostly an experimental thing. I just wanted to experiment with a bunch of biomes for the different planets. This one I don't actually know how to feel about it. Well, the grass I think I will make it more gray so it doesn't stand out as much. But mainly this biome is used to indicate that under it is magnetic caves. Aside from biomes, there are also a bunch of custom structures that you might have saw already while I was showing you the biomes. The first one is this. Let me show you from the ground. This is basically a completely rebuilt moon dungeon from Ad Astra, but it is more lore oriented for this modpack. There are a bunch of spawners that spawn cognites and those creeper things from Scorched Guns. There is a bunch of kind of useful loot in the chests, and it didn't spawn here, but there is also a boss room that has very good loot when you defeat the boss, which is this thing. But to be honest, it's very annoying to fight because it sees through walls and generally freaking terrible. So the boss is going to change in the future, but when you kill him, you get a key card. You put the key card in a card reader and it opens up a treasure room. You can't get into treasure room unless you kill the boss, because treasure room is closed by unbreakable blocks unless you use a key card to open it. This is basically a rebuilt version of a lunar tower. It also has a bunch of spawners of the cog creepers from Scorched Guns. It also has a bunch of stuff for multiblocks and pretty useful loot. And the third one is the Non-euclidean dungeon. Non-euclidean dungeon is a dungeon that also spawns on the moon, and well, as you might expect, it is bigger on the inside. When you go into it, you will find a magnetron. Magnetron is not very intimidating mob from Alex's Caves unless it notices you. Then it becomes a freaking mecha like boss. And when you defeat the magnetron, and after you kill the magnetron you get the Heart of Iron, and if you place the Heart of Iron down here, it opens the door to the main loot room, which is broken ME controllers that will be useful to create, well, your ME system, and some Applied Heuristics loot. By the way, you can also disconnect the Non-Euclidean dungeon from the moon, just in case you want to build a base over this Non-Euclidean dungeon and you can't remove the portal. You can remove the portal, and then you can destroy this dungeon and build whatever you want in here. And so, yeah, the lunar chapter and the Earth chapter are complete. A mechanism chapter, which is Mars and Venus, is going to be a tad bit faster, because it is actually going to be a mix of actually many planets, not just Venus and Mars. I'm thinking about making some stuff for gas giants. Phobos and Deimos are probably going to be something to do with scorched guns. I have a fairly fun idea. I also already have a Phobos dimension. It has a very weird generation. I'm actually fairly okay with how this dimension turned out. It has a very low gravity. It actually is the lowest gravity you can have unless it is complete 0g, because for some reason when you put like 0.4 in the gravity, it like says, oh well, it's less than 0.5, I guess it's going to be 0g for some reason. So yeah, this is kind of stupid, but this is the lowest gravity you can have in Adastra. But the main point is this one is going to be used in some scorched guns and some war stuff, because war stuff is cool. HBM has it, so why can't I have it? So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this Space Shananigans devlog. Hopefully the next devlog is going to be way closer to the end. I have hopes that I will be able to release this mod pack in this year, but I don't know. I don't know. I have hopes. There is a chance that it can be released in this year, but I don't know. So yeah, thanks for watching.